Hello and welcome back to my garden in this, which is the 27th episode of a year gardening, following my journey through the year of 2020 in my garden. Now we're just coming to the end of October, start of November, last couple of months of the year, and it's time for me to start looking at the deadheading, final deadheading, and the cutting back of the perennials, things like the peonies, the sedums, taking them back down to their winter state. Also, I'm going to finish putting the pipe in the pond and stream so the water feed is completely connected up. There are general tidying up jobs and preparing for winter, mulching up of the borders where the soft fruits are, the strawberries and the rhubarb and things. So quite a lot to get on with today, and I hope you'll enjoy the journey with me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the installation of the pipework for the pond. Well, I'm carefully digging my way through the wood border and laying in this plastic pipe, which is for the feed for the stream. And so I'm taking this down. It's only going a couple of inches underneath the ground. Once I've come through this border, then I can take it underneath the grass. And so all I'm doing is, I'm not that worried about some of the seeds that we've got growing from the self-seeding plants, but what I am doing is I'm just avoiding any of the perennials so that we can enjoy them for next year. I've got a lot of gladioli root in here still from last year, which I'm clearing out at the same time, but we are bringing this soil back in over the top of the pipe, and this is all going to work its way forward. I've got about another 1.5 meters to go through this border, but we have got a lot of these Aquilegia seedlings, and I'm afraid I'm going to just lift those out of the way, dig through those. They will come back year after year after year, and then we will start looking at taking the pipe through the lawn. But I've put nearly 2 meters down already. Still a long way to go, but let's have some fun. Well, that's the pipe through the woodland border, and okay, I've had to lose a few seedlings, but they will self-seed over the next year or so, and that will fill back out. And I've started to come now through underneath the grass, along the edge of the new grass that I've just laid over the top here, and then I'm going to run it up along the edge of the border. I've only got about 7 meters more to put in now, so I'm really pleased with that. The whole effect is going to be brilliant because you won't see any pipe work, you won't see any electrics, you won't see anything. It'll just appear as a natural stream. Lovely work. Loads more to do. I'm going to crack on with that. Well, now we've got the pipe work all underneath the ground, and the fall looks quite pleasant, and I'm starting to do the work at the top so that we can have a pot with a rather nice plant on the top there, and then I will get the mortar and complete the wall building properly. But the flow of the stream is now looking very pleasant, and so I think I'll order the plants to go in the stream now as well. Very happy with that. Right. Hello and welcome back to the greenhouse. Now I've just received this pack of plug plants from U Garden through the post. I've very quickly sprayed some moisture inside and I'm going to be planting these out into some small pots, and I've just put a little bit of compost in the bottom of each one of these pots to put the plugs into. And wonderfully, there's a nice list of the 12 plants written on the inside here, and I'm quite pleased with the way they look. I mean, plants don't like coming in the post, but they don't look too bad. So well done, U Garden. I'm going to get some labels so that I can actually label each individual one up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of alpine, and I'm going to label each individual pot. So I'll get those labels ready now. There's some labels in here, and I've got a nice sharp pencil ready as well. So I'm just going to open this new pack of labels. There we go, some little labels there. So I've got my labels, I've got my pencil. Time to start putting these into the pots. So the first plant that I've got here is an Erodium bishops. So I'm just going to probably need a little bit more compost underneath that there. So I'll just put a little bit underneath there. That's going to be a good height. Then I'm just going to fill around the edges to make sure there's no voids around there. It's a nice gritty compost because being alpines, they don't need fantastic soil. We'll pop that in there. I'll just give these a little spray once I've finished putting them on. But we're going to label these. So this is Erodium bishops. We'll pop that down the side of the pot there. Now, these plants, once I've got them all growing nicely, will be going at the head of the stream with the new wall, and I'm sure that's going to be a wonderful impact. Now, this next one is Aluga Burgundy Glow, and I have got the right amount of compost in there, so we'll just pop some more of this compost just around the edge, get it nicely firmed in. So nice to have the sun out for once rather than all the rain we've been having. That's put me a little bit behind on my gardening these last few days because I've not been able to get outside. Let's get my spelling right on here. Aluga. And that's Burgundy Glow. And we'll pop that down the side of that one. Now I'll carry on potting the rest of these up now. Well, there we have the 12 plants all potted up. So now I'm just going to give those a little water and then put them up onto the shelf. So let's give these a nice little watering in. Don't want to overdo it, just make sure that compost is damp. And then we'll keep a nice eye on these over the next few days. Make sure they don't dry out. Let's release the air. And we'll put these in the middle of the shelf. Down here. Well, whilst I'm down here, you may remember a couple of months ago I planted out some lavender seedlings. They're coming on very, very nicely now, and The weather for the next couple of nights is quite a frost forecast, so I'm bringing those in where they've been growing outside quite comfortably for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and I'm just bringing those in to give them some added protection in the cold greenhouse. And they're going to be planted up along the riverbank with the other lavenders next year. Yes. Now, while we're thinking about frost, I need to afford some protection to my peach tree. Now, you can buy nice expensive horticultural fleece to do this, but I use a disposable dust sheet from decorating, and all I do is I prepare cable ties, and I will put this up into a nice little bunch here, and I'm going to cable tie that onto the fence here. Get it in nice and tight, and then to stop it blowing out with the wind, I just put a knot through the top here, and that will secure that to the fence. And I've got to do that along the top here just to protect this plant from the ravages of the cold. And once I've got my cable ties in at the top, I then get some more and put in further down to secure the bottom. And again, make sure it's in the right way around, because they are difficult to tie up if you get them wrong. Bring that in. So again, I've got it nice and tight. Bring the cable tie around the cloth. Secure it to the fence. Then again, put a small knot underneath that, just to stop the material blowing through the cable tie. Well, that's got that bit, and now I'm just going to tidy up the other end, and that should just do the job to protect it from the frost. And that's a winter precaution. It's not 100%, but it should stop the worst of the frost getting to the peach tree. Time to do a little bit more of the tidying up in the garden whilst I've got the weather with me. Now, I really should have had this done already, but with the weather being against me, things like the peony and the sedum really need taking right down, and I'll put a little bit of mulch over the top of those to give them some protection. But these now can really come right down for them to give themselves a chance to grow for next year, and the wonderful display that I know they'll give us. Let's get rid of that off there. There we go. Get rid of that stake now. So we can take these right down to the ground, and that's lovely. And the same with the sedum, this can come right down. But looking at this one here, I think we can get some more plants off of this, because each of these little sections here will grow into a new plant. So I'm going to take that one into the greenhouse and make some more plants. But we'll clear all of this down. And we'll just say thank you for the lovely flowers that you've given us this year. Right, I'll take this one into the greenhouse and get potting up some cuttings off of this. Well, I did think I'll finish down here for today, but with these lovely bits of sedum that are growing on here, I can get myself quite a lot of new plants for planting out. And all you have to do is just take off one section like so, pop it into the compost. But I'm just going to water that compost first and then pop those in. And all I'm going to do with the little cuttings that I've taken off here, I'm just going to peel back a couple of leaves at the bottom Believe it or not, every single one of these leaves could grow into another plant, but I'm just clearing a couple of leaves off the bottom, make a little mark in the pot and pop that in there. Do exactly the same here, just a couple of the leaves in the bottom here, and I'll probably do about 4 or 5 into this pot. Let's take another one off. Little hole, and it goes. We can do one more there. Little hole, and in it goes. And I've got enough here, I can do another pot as well. Now I've got a label here marked up, sedum. Now before you get in touch with me and let me know that the sedum isn't called a sedum anymore, unfortunately I'm too old to change my ways, and these will always be sedums. I know they've got some new poncy name for them, but they're still sedums to me. Well, there we go then. We have 2 pots of sedum plants. Give it a couple of months, they should have rooted, go through. We can then pop them on, then plant them out, probably next Easter time, completely free. I like that. Well, a couple of nights ago it was Halloween, and we invited a few of the local children from our road to pop round in sort of 15-minute time slots so that we could all keep our rule of 6 and social distancing, to have a little bit of fun, because trick or treat was really not on the cards this year. So we had a little bit of a spooky garden, and I converted the courtyard garden into a bit of a spooky garden to entertain the children. So here's a little bit of video of what that looked like. Well, I've just been putting some wood chippings down on the soft fruit border to mulch that up for the winter. There's so many jobs to do, so much more to do, but I can't put it all into one show. Now, just been watching the news, and it appears we're going to go back into another lockdown. So keep your heads together on this one. It's going to be, they say 4 weeks, but let's hope that we're going to have Christmas and that Santa's going to be allowed to visit us, you know, at a social distance. Now, today I have achieved quite a lot, and we've got a lot of things done, and it's so lovely to see the stream reaching fruition. Now, I was going to start finishing the sand and cement over the top edge of the stream over the next few days, but if we're going to be getting frosts and things, I'm going to leave that for a little while. Now, all of the render has been frost treated and it has been waterproofed, so it should all be fine, but you never know, there could be a couple of little bits that I've missed and that might get damaged in frost and might need some more work, so it'll be a good time to actually have a look at that. I've got those new plants came as the plugs planted, and I've got my plants in to protect them from any frosts. I've still got to get my geranium pots in and put those into the greenhouse as well, but I just want to make sure everything is nice and secure. So I hope you've enjoyed this little show and the bits and pieces that we've done. We've got another couple to go before the end of the year, and then I'll do a year review, which will probably be the 30th and the final episode. So I would like to just say thank you for watching. Do take care of yourselves, look after each other, and I'm saving up for Christmas, so I'm just going to have a little glass of cider with you today to say stay well, keep healthy, be kind to each other. Happy gardening. Cheers.